Okay.
I'll just be a couple of minutes late.
Time being 6:30 p.m, I declare the ordinary council meeting of June 25, 2024 open. Persons in the gallery are advised that under the Local Government Act 1993, a person may not tape record the proceeding of a meeting of a council or committee without the authority of the council or committee. Tape record includes a video camera and an electronic device capable of recording speech. Mobile phones must be turned off so not to disrupt the meeting. Anyone, including councillors, found using a mobile phone will be told to leave the meeting immediately and for the duration of the said meeting. An audio recording of this meeting will be taken for minute-taking purposes, as authorised by the Local Government Act 1993. This meeting is live streamed on Council's website to allow the community to follow Council debates and decisions without the need to attend meetings in person. Members of the public attending or speaking at a meeting agree to have their image, voice and personal information, including their name and address, recorded and publicly broadcast. Strathfield Council does not accept liability for any defamatory remarks or inappropriate comments that are made during the course of a meeting. Any part of the meeting that is held in closed session will not be streamed. Councillors and members of the gallery, please note that the microphone for streaming purposes is very sensitive and will record all sounds in the room. The mayoral diary and expenses claimed by councillors for the last month since the last council meeting has been tabled for your information as per resolution 147/19. Councillors, in accordance with the mandatory provisions of the Model Code of Conduct, I remind councillors of the obligations to which you swore by taking the oath of affirmation in that you will faithfully and impartially carry out the functions, powers, authorities and discretions vested under the Local Government Act 1993 or any other act to the best of your ability and judgment. Please stand for a moment of reflection. We pray that our deliberations today will be objective and decisions are impartial and made for the benefit of the whole community. Recognition of traditional custodians. Let us begin by acknowledging the Wangal people, the traditional custodians of the land on which we're meeting and our meeting is being held. We pay respects to their elders, past, present and emerging. Thank you. I haven't received a late notice from Councillor Blackmore, so I'm not sure whether he's an apology or whether he's turning up. I have had a request from Councillor Maheswaran for a leave of absence due to personal reasons for tonight's meeting, so I'll need a mover for that. Thank you, Councillor Hall, and a seconder, Councillor Data. All in favour? A unanimous decision. I move that that's been carried. So, anyone have any disclosures of interest? I request that each councillor with a conflict stand, clearly stating the item, the nature of the conflict and what action they will take. Councillors, I remind you to use the scripts provided. I don't have any conflicts of interest for anything on the paper. Councillor Data, do you have any conflicts? No. Councillor Chai?
Yes, I do have one. Yep.
What item number is it, Councillor? Sorry?
PE1.
PE1? Yep.
Heritage buildings.
Sorry?
Heritage buildings.
Heritage buildings.
Yep.
Councillor Blackmore, do you have any conflict of interest? I will give you a little time to sit. Will you be staying in the... the nature of your conflict.
Personal dwelling was conservation.
Sorry, I can't hear what you're saying.
My personal house, my house was discussed in the matter.
Oh, okay. All right.
Yeah, I will leave the room. Yeah.
And you'll leave the room. Is it a pecuniary or non-pecuniary?
Non-pecuniary significant.
Thank you, Councillor. Councillor Hall, do you have any disclosures? No? Councillor Blackmore?
I'll be declaring a pecuniary interest on PE2, Madam Mayor. I have sold a property for someone who owns land in the town centre, so I'll be leaving the chamber during that debate.
Councillor Reddy, do you have any?
I don't have any.
Thank you. Right, so does anyone have any acknowledgements? Councillor Reddy, I believe you have one.
Madam Mayor, I would like to welcome you and let you know that we all missed you.
Oh,
We
thank
missed you in color and in your humor. And I've written a lot. You have been a good colleague and a great friend. Stay here. Let's have some productive and very creative arguments to be done.
We'll keep arguing, Sandy, no matter what. Thank you, Councillor Reddy. Any further acknowledgements? Councillor Dada?
Madam Mayor, welcome back.
Thank you.
I have two acknowledgements to make, and I must also acknowledge that I attended a number of events, and Councillor Reddy, I was fortunate enough to accompany Councillor Reddy in those events as well, so I might be saying for both of us. My first acknowledgement is for participating in a celebration of a mosque called Omar Mosque in Auburn. And both myself and Councillor Reddy were speakers there and joined the hospitality of this event. It was a long event, but the outstanding features of that event came through these, the messages that came from the speakers of this event. First is, everyone that I listened to were speaking about, regardless of the background, the compliance with the democratic framework of Australia, the rule of law that Australia has, their compliance, their devotion to that. And everyone in the end said that though there are some sentiments expressed to various events happening in distant lands, but all of them did acknowledge that at the end of the day, when we go out of these gatherings, we go out as Australians, we all pulling in one direction for the benefit of all Australians. And that was a wonderful message that was given from those gatherings of over a few thousand people. So that was excellent, very impressive. So I acknowledge all these grand gestures of these people of the Omar Mosque and their authorities and the various dignitaries who attended this event. It was noteworthy. The second acknowledgement I have, also I acknowledge that Councillor Reddy also attended those two events, was as the celebration of International Yoga Day by Vishwa Hindu Parishad in Homebush and by Strathfield Australians of Indian Subcontinental Heritage in Strathfield. The various people who attended, there are a number of speakers, and the various speakers who attended those events also expressed a theme. The theme was, which is broadly probably not known, yoga is not about movement of some gestures, hands, and twisting of bodies. Yoga means union with environment, union with the rest of the world. Such as, if it was a daytime, it would be more appropriate to say that as we stand here, we are breathing our air, carbon dioxide, breathing out carbon dioxide, breathing in oxygen. And the tree standing out there is taking up the carbon dioxide and breathing out oxygen. It's a mutual dependence with the nature. And the yogis means people who discovered or invented yoga in ancient India about 2,300 years or 400 years ago. They understood this mutual dependence between the environment and the human beings. And that was the reason why they developed a medical practice or medicine called Ayurveda. It was very famous, it's still very famous in Indian subcontinent. And the other thing that came out from the message was that it is the knowledge of this mutual independence between the environment and the human beings that led to the creation of many gods. Like they understood the dependence of human beings, environment with the trees, so they created a god of tree. Similarly, they created god of fire and god of wind, god of rain. It was nothing but expression of respect for the forces of nature. And as a result of that, the environmental concern has grown over the years, and of course in the West we are also now calling it environmentalism. So thanks for those messages being passed on, and thank you, Madam Mayor, for giving me the opportunity.
Thank you, councillor. Any further acknowledgements, councillors?
Sorry, Madam Mayor.
Yes.
Just with the declarations, in the same item, PE2, I also have a non-pecuniary, non-significant declarations. I'll declare that as well. So a member of Stratford Independence, political party, may be an office bearer in a company that also owns property in the town centre. That's a non-pecuniary, non-significant. I've said I will remain in the chamber, but obviously because I have the other conflict, I will be leaving.
Okay, so you can't split yourself in two? No. Thank you, councillor. So, we'll be leaving. Yep. Okay, thank you. Thank you. So I need to confirm the minutes from the last meeting. I need a mover for that. Councillor Reddy, seconder, Councillor Blackmore. Can I have a show of hands for this motion, please? All in favour? Thank you. I declare the motion carried. So I have 2 mayoral minutes, councillors, and if you just have a quick read of them, I don't know if you've already read them, but I'll give you a few minutes, 2 minutes maybe, to read through the mayoral minutes, so I won't have to read them out unless you want me to read them out. Okay. So we'll look at mayoral minute 7.1 in regard to the recycle and waste education programs for 24-25. I move that council investigates and reports back on options to undertake additional waste education programs for recycling activities, as well as council's existing 3 pickup services provided to residents across the local government area. That council staff develop a waste education budget for additional planned activities for council's consideration as part of the report. Are you all happy with the rationale? This has come about from a lot of residents from Homebush West in particular, about looking into people's bins and finding that their yellow bin is contaminated. And every time we get a contaminated yellow bin, it costs the council a lot of money because that whole bin needs to be put into waste. So we can't recycle that whole bin because it's been contaminated. So they're very aware about this. They asked me to put this motion up in February, and it's now June, but better late than never. So I look forward to seeing the report and how we're going to help educate a lot of our residents who are non-English speaking, and how we need to make sure that they know which bin to use for what. It's a very big issue. Plus, the dumping of rubbish has reduced a little. That's because we've worked so hard, and thank you to our waste team, from a 3-month delay for a pickup for a garbage waste up to only 3 weeks. So we've done a great job there in council, and I really do appreciate that, that work. So I put it to you, councillors, all in favour? A unanimous vote. I move that that's carried. Now the second mayoral minute is about writing to the Minister for Planning to seek an early review of the Sustainable Buildings SEP, including BASIC standards, which is presently scheduled for 2025. This is noting that the New South Wales Government is currently pursuing a policy of improving housing supply under the New South Wales TOD program across Greater Sydney. This includes the current master plan underway for the Homebush Todd, which is due to become policy by 2025 and release significant new housing supply thereafter. An early review of the sustainable SEP and BASIC standards in consultation with local government, including Strathfield Council, will ensure improved sustainability standards become policy at the same time as the new master plans delivering new housing are adopted. This will ensure owners and residents of new constructions enjoy the benefits of cheaper, cost of living and more sustainable buildings across Sydney. Any discussion on that, councillors? Yes, Councillor Hall?
I would like some expansion on actually what you're trying to achieve. There's also a typo where it says, the second last line, delivery should be deliverer, I think. As new master plans to delivery, new housing are adopted.
New housing are adopted.
And so I'm just trying to work out what you're trying to achieve. And then the last line, benefits of cheaper cost of living and more sustainable buildings across Greater Sydney, those are mutually exclusive. It's very difficult to get sustainable products, construction products that are cheap. They're actually quite expensive. So I'm just trying to work out what it is that you're trying to achieve. So my understanding is, and just that the Minister for Planning will be reviewing the Sustainable Building SEP, and you want the Minister, to do that in consultation with councils.
Yes.
Which is currently not something that they're wanting to do. Okay, now I got it.
That's all right. Has that explained itself?
Yes.
Okay, yes, what we want consultation, because if we can all work together and make this SEP and building, DCP done well, then everyone will benefit from it. So I was wanting to write to our friend Mr. Scully and see if we can get another meeting with him so we can work together.
Okay.
All right. Okay, all in favour? Okay, I call that carried. Thank you very much. Okay, so that's our two mayoral minutes. Now we go to items of exception, I think. Can't get the page open. Yes, so items moved by exception. In accordance with section 13 of Council's Code of Meeting Practice, items can be dealt with by exception and they can be adopted as recommended by a single motion. I move that the following items be dealt by exception. Go through the matrix. Here we go. I'm doing a Joe Biden. Reading instructions. I think I missed something.
Oh no. That is looking more like...
Yeah, I'm more Joe Biden than I am. Right, okay. All right, so we go to 10.1, invitation for the council to support Commonwealth. I want to pull that, I want to talk about that one. 10.2, by exception. GMU1, adoption of delivery, I'm pulling that one as well. GMU2, draft plan of management, by exception. Investment report, by exception. Tenders advertised and awarded in May, by exception. CCS3, current status of council resolutions.
No.
Sorry, councillor? You want to pull it? Yeah. CCS4, councillor workshop, 11th of June 2024, by exception. CCS5, statistics on... You want to pull that one? Yeah. CCS6, child safety online, by exception. Draft PE1, draft Strathfield Development Control Plan report. Sorry? That's got to come out, yeah. PE2, Strathfield Town... That's got to come out as well. Okay. PE3, policy options to disincentivise vacant home and commercial premises. PE4 is coming out, account be used by exception. Lighting proposal for Fitzgerald Reserve by exception. 12.1, report for Audit, Risk and Improvement Committee meeting 29th of May 24 by exception. Report from Traffic Committee meeting 18th of June 24 by exception. Now we can do the closed session by exception as well. If you've all read through your closed session papers, I would like to put that by exception for the medical room. Sorry?
We'll keep it, do discuss it.
Which one?
Which one?
It is,
There are two.
CCS 7.
CCS 7.
EO two.
Oh, okay. So,
What about EO two?
Sorry?
EO2 as well?
What was the item that you mentioned you were going to?
Medical room?
No, not medical room.
But that's all in closed session. That's all in closed session. I can't give you the details because we have to
So
discuss.
that's the one, closed session, we don't
Yes.
want it by exception.
Yes.
Both of them.
Do you want to do both of them in closed session or just one? Or we can go by exception for the medical room.
Okay.
Yeah, but we still have to go into closed session for the general manager's report. Is that correct, councillor Dada? All right, so we've got to go into closed session. No worries. So I need a mover for the items of exception, please, councillor and councillor Blackmore. Thank you. Sorry, I didn't say councillor Reddy's name. All right. Oh yeah, all in favour? Sorry, motion's carried. All right, now we come to public forum. We have one speaker tonight. I'll just get out Peter Dobodrich, could you stand up and give us your name, address, and the reason why you're speaking, and you're happy to know that you're going to be videoed?
Yeah, that's fine. Peter Dobrevich. I live in Abbotsford Road, Homebush. I'm really calling. The main topic is enforcement policy. Legislation, regulation, rule-making by delegation is generally a political process full of compromises. That leads to things like the LEP and the DCP, some of which I really object to. I'm sure all of you have some objections to the DCP and the LEP. However, we have to obey the law. And no matter if we don't like something, we can always lobby, blah, 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 but we should comply with the law. And the enforcement process, I don't think, has been fully implemented in the case of 40 Abbotsford Road. Let me go through a quick chronology. Relatively, and this is comparably, or sort of on a relative basis, minor building work weren't in compliance with a DA. There were complaints by neighbours. The council investigated that, issued a stop work order, though there was a restoration plan implemented and work recommenced. By May 10, after the work recommenced, the roof of the house was just demolished. Residents complained on May 10, maybe earlier, maybe later. Then, sometime between then and June, about mid-June, the rest of the house was demolished completely, down to the foundations. There were more complaints. Now, the enforcement policy talks about a certain time frame investigating, and I can understand that investigations can be quite difficult. But where you have a DA for alterations, and the end result is the whole house has been demolished down to the ground, it doesn't require a lot of skill, and the problem is now that restoration, I think, is probably going to be impossible. So that leads the council to say, well, what are we going to do here? Are we going to generate a deterrent, like the Inner West Council does? And the question is two parts. One is review what happened, Because I'm certain that if there was more action taken earlier in the piece, the demolition wouldn't have happened. The roof may have been knocked off, but it would have probably stopped at that point. The second issue, and this is something for the council to determine, is how serious do you want to take the action? What action? As we know under the legislation, not only is the applicant responsible for unlawful building work, but so is the owner of the building and the builder itself. And there's case law in the Land Environment Court where that's been demonstrated, and where all three parties have been fined when the breach is serious enough. So
You need an extension, Mr de Bobridge?
yes, please. Can I just have
2 more minutes?
2 more minutes?
All in favour? Okay. Go ahead.
What I'd like to see is, firstly, a review of the actual circumstances, timelines, communications, so this doesn't happen again. And secondly, I'd like to see the council seriously consider, is this an issue of, is deterrence required longer term? Because I can see, I remember the Camden Lodge issue. I think we all remember that and how long that dragged on for. Now, this house has been demolished. If you build exactly back to where it was, it's going to be half the price of build than the original renovation. As we all know, new building is about half the cost per square metre for renovation. So it's going to be a benefit. I don't think people should get a benefit for what looks like an unlawful action. Asking for a DA, having a meeting, doing a heritage report, being counselled, as in being told you're doing something wrong, you have to restore what you did, then go ahead and do a demolition in 2 stages. So there has to be some sort of issue, some sort of action to stop that happening again. That's all I've got to say about that. The only other thing I'd like to add, on a completely separate issue, is the TOD policy by the government. I really do think that council should think about if they want to contribute to the SCP, have a look what people have done in other countries. I've just come back from Spain. Barcelona has got fabulous medium density housing, really well thought out. I think we should just steal their best ideas.
Thank you very much, Mr de Bobridge. Okay, so that's our only speaker tonight, everyone. Thank you very much. So now we're going to notices of motion, and the first notice of motion we're going to deal with is on page 26, and it's 10.1. Councillor Chai, do you want to read your motion? Or speak about your motion? Before you do that, are you moving that, Councillor Data? Yeah, second it?
I can,
No one's seconding it?
I can say it.
Oh, Councillor Hall?
Can I amend a little bit?
Yep, you can.
Because we are all aware that this term is going to finish soon, so I prefer whether we can have the report back, before the term finish, like next month's meeting or something.
Next month. That's a big report for next month. So where did you state that you wanted it back for? Where is that?
Yes,
I can't see you put a date.
yeah, because at the time,
Oh, okay, so you want to change that?
Not the content, but just the date.
Okay.
yeah, to come back, yeah. Yes, personally, I support the ideas of the post office banking, because currently a lot of major banks has closing their branches. A lot of young people, they are happy to use electronic bankings, but some of the elders, they still need face-to-face banking. And the post office has a lot of, the branches all over the countries. So this one will really support those elders, to use the daily bankings. So this is what I'm support for this and raise this motion, for council to consider. Thank you.
Yeah, there's no report coming back, councillor Chai. You
Oh.
just wanted an email to be sent to
Yeah.
to all councils. Is that what you're wanting?
Yeah.
I think you are saying you want a motion, email sent to all council for them to move similar motions.
Yes,
That's right.
thank you.
Not just the email, but for them to move similar.
Thank you, councillor Data. And councillor Hall, can you address the meeting, please?
I'm just wondering, when would you like the emails to go out by, or through the chair?
Yes.
I'm just wondering when councillor Chai would
Before
like
the
it.
end of this term.
Before the end of term, you would like the email to go to
Yes.
all councils. Do you know that this was addressed at the local government New South Wales last year? This motion was put up and it failed.
Yes. Motion.
And you want it to go through again?
Yep.
Okay,
Thank you. More details.
all right. Anyone else want to discuss?
If councillor Chai would like it done by the end of this term, there's no date on it, so we need to amend it to add.
Yeah, man.
So we'd like to add it.
I think put a date there, councillor Chai put send the email by the 30th of July or something.
30th of July. Or
31st of August.
August.
31st of August.
Yeah.
Okay, so we'll change that to 31st, be forward to councillors before the 31st of August.
31st, okay.
So 31 days in August? 30 days, that's September.
Sorry, I'm just
Sorry, yes, thank you, Mr. Memo.
through you, Madam Mayor. I'm just picking up a little technicality in the way it's written. It's an email to all Australian councils. It might be difficult for us to forward it to all their councillors because we won't have all their details.
To New South Wales?
We just forward it to the councils.
You can talk in a minute, Mr. Blackmore, councillor Blackmore. Is that all you want to say?
I'm just concerned we probably won't be able to forward, requesting that they forward it to all their councillors. Yeah, that's fine.
Thank you. Councillor Blackmore?
Yeah, because it's just saying to
I was just concerned
send it
with.
to the councils, and then they request that they forward it to their councillors.
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay.
Okay, so you would just say send it to councils to be forwarded.
No, it's okay. It's okay.
All right.
I
Councillor Data?
I think one vital part is missing from what Councillor Chai was proposing. So council send to all councillors, all councils, an email requesting that it be forwarded to all their councillors for them to moving before 31st of August 2024, for them to move a motion to this effect. That's what Councillor Chai was trying to say. So that the East Council considers moving a motion in support of Councillor Chai's notice of motion.
It's a decision of the councillors, though.
Of course, requesting. We
You're
can't really-
requesting. But the point is, if you want to do it in this term, they're not going to get it until after the 31st of August and we'll be in lockdown.
I think what Councillor Chai is saying that if those old people get their postal bank 6 months later, he's still happy.
No, we hope this one can deliver the message out, by the end of August. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, councillor. Okay, anyone else discussing anything on this motion? All right, I say all in favour? Are you carried unanimously? The motion is carried. Okay. The next one is page number 35, and it's going to be about the adoption of delivery program and operational plan. Councillor Blackmore. Yes, I haven't asked for a mover yet.
If you want a seconder,
I need a seconder, a mover. Councillor Blackmore, seconded Councillor Chai. I move the officer's recommendation. I move the officer's recommendation from 1 to 11, as with a new 12 as follows. This is the change on this motion, thank you. That the lighting fee of page 41 of the fees and charges for up to and including 100 lux be set at $20 per hour for 2024, followed by a fee of $25 per hour for 25-26 and $30 per hour for 26-27, and that the budget impact be addressed as part of the first quarter budget review 24-25. Everyone happy with that? No? Okay. Councillor Hall?
I actually had two amendments.
I did. Councillor Chai?
If I can ask, what page we're referring to? Sorry, Madam.
Sorry. Page 35, GMU1.
No, the pages,
It's in the back.
rates at the back.
Right at the back, it's under the fees and charges. I will find it for you, councillor.
Got it.
Page 45 of the second part, councillor.
Thank you very much.
Would you like me, Madam
Councillor Hall?
Would you like me to propose a change to what you've put up there as well, or just do a completely new one?
What's your amendment, councillor?
I haven't accepted that, that's it.
I'm the mover.
You're the mover of the second.
Yeah.
No.
I was the
Councillor
mover.
Chai.
I took that, actually, I'm a bit rusty, I'm very, very sorry, but it was my motion. So I'm moving, and councillor,
Chai, you said Councillor Chai
yeah,
said.
but councillor Blackmore put his hand up first, so he'll be the seconder.
Thank you, Madam
Do
Mayor.
whatever you want to do.
That's all right.
I'm just saying what happened. So, yeah,
Hang on, where are we going, David?
Just got to fix that up.
Oh, sorry, it's Pensabini and Blackmore. Blackmore. Yeah. Thank you, Mr. McQuaid. Councillor Hall, what's your amendment?
okay, so, do you want me to add to yours? Would you like me to change yours? I'm happy with what you've said, other than changing the numbers. I would also, could you take it, bring it down? Number 12. Trying to read what the mayor's put up. Okay, that one, I'm happy to put it in, no, if we can have a 12 and 13. The 12 for me would be 15, 20, 25. You've got
Sorry?
15, 20, 25. You've got 20, 25, 30. I would change it.
She's changing that to 15.
Hour, 24, 25, 20 per hour, 25, 26.
$50,000 in the budget.
That one. So that's what I would propose on that one, and then I would propose a number 13, that the seasoned hire grass field on page 45 of the fees and charges, the set to $25 per hour. And that the budget impact be addressed as part of the first quarter budget review in 24-25.
What is the current proposal?
33.
So currently, they've received a invoice for $30 for lighting, and we're bringing it down to $20 for lighting per hour.
Yeah, taking into consideration that the prior year was an increase of, what, 300%, 400%? Yeah, well, there you go, 500%. So,
Really? Was
yes,
it?
yes it was. It went from $6 to $30.
Yeah, but electricity costs went up as well. I mean, council's been covering this cost for a long time. There hasn't been a fee change since 2017.
Understand?
Yes, and I
You are
understand.
more than welcome to vote against it.
Thank you,
So
councillor
I'm
Hall.
just putting it, and then councillors can decide either way.
He's going to put it
Councillors can, this is my suggestion, councillors can vote whichever way that they feel that is the best for themselves and their constituents. Yeah, that's it, so they are my proposed changes.
Councillor Blackmore.
Before I just through the chair, does the general manager or the director have on-hand information of what sort of impact that has to council's budget?
Huge.
Through you, Madam Mayor. So the impact of the reduction in the lighting fee, basically for every $5 reduction in the lighting fee, you're looking at a budget impact of around $50,000. So reducing the fee to the $20 would mean about $100,000 reduction in total for revenue. If you were to reduce it to the $15 per hour, that would be in the order of about $150,000 for next year's budget. In terms of the suggested change from Councillor Hall around the field hire for grass surfaces, I don't know those numbers. I would have a guess that would be quite significant.
This year.
Councillor Blackmore, do you accept the amendments from Councillor Hall?
Look, I think, although that is quite a large impact to the budget, I think that council has the skill and ability to find those funds. And I believe our sporting clubs probably, if they're the ones going to benefit it, and the fact that they've actually put in a council hall, like the only thing I would say just about the, sorry, I'm not sure, stand up, sorry.
Yeah, sorry, I should have asked you to stand up. A bit rusty, still getting used to being back.
Me too. I would just say that by actually putting in those fees, the 25, 26 fees and the 26, 27 fees, that increase is actually above CPI. You know, that's a what is it, 30% increase. So is that the intention is to try to recoup because we're behind the 8 ball already?
Well, we are.
Yeah, what's the intention?
We are behind the 8 ball. We've been...
because I'll be happy to have it set at the 15 for this year, and then normally what happens is the CPI occurs after that.
Increase?
Yeah, so I don't think we have to set that. That's normally what happens in our budgets.
In our budget and fee review.
In our fee, yeah, every year. So I don't know if we have to include setting that fee, because as I'm saying, it does, you know, it's...
Okay, we don't know what the CPI is at the moment.
It's not going to be 30%, yeah? So I would just recommend that we set the fee for this year, and if that's a consideration, whether you would consider removing the other section.
Sure.
The following by a fee 20 per hour, 25 per hour, because as like most of the time in my experience in this council, apart from a couple of times here and there, it's normally like a small, like that fee, the Grassfield fee was $31, it only went up to 33, for example. So, if that's a consideration the councillors consider, that we set that, and then we look at the...
So what are your numbers, please, Mr Blackmore?
Oh, I'm just saying to leave it at the 15 for 24, 25,
Yeah.
and then the 25, 26, 26, 27, rather than setting a 30% increase each year, that gets deleted. And I think it's best practice to have a CPI increase in the future budgets.
Okay, so you want to change the wording of that?
Just delete that, the section of setting, by having followed by a fee of $20 and $25, that's what I'm saying, you're basically putting that motion will then set in stone that there has to be a 30% increase on the lighting for the next 2 years.
That was because we're covering the loss of the fee that we're not getting this year.
It's up, no, you're the
Yeah.
mover, it's up to you. Yeah.
Okay. So the number 13, Councillor Blackmore? Yeah, number 12, you just want to delete that 26, 27, that sentence.
That section, followed by a fee of $20 per hour for 2025, 26.
And increase it by CPI. Do you want to say that? I think we should say something because it has to be increased every year.
Term of councillors to decide.
But I think we should have something put into the budget needs to be,
CPI sounds good.
okay, all right, so we can take that out. Do you need anything to put in? No. Okay, all right. Take that out. Sorry, Mr. McQuaid. You can take out by CPI each year after 26, 27. No. That the seasoned hire Grassfield lighting. That's not about the light. That's not about the lighting. That's about the field. Council Hall.
David's just got it wrong.
Oh, David's got it wrong. Grassfield. Yeah, got it, Mr. McQuaid. Seasonal hire grass for the 4 Grassfield grounds.
And that's actually page 41.
And it's page 41.
Page 45.
Fees and charges. Page 41 of the fees and charges
So
report.
page 45 of the business papers or 41 of the fee and
Oh,
charges?
right.
Yeah.
All right.
So I fee of page,
Oh, right, I see what you're saying.
So need to be set at 25 and
no, set of 15.
Page 45. Did you say 41?
45 of yours, of the second part.
Yeah, 40.
Yeah, that's page 45.
So, can I just get the wording right, Councillor Hall?
Oh, right, okay.
Councillor Hall, number 13, that the seasonal hire Grassfield grounds be set at 25 per hour and that the budget impact be reviewed in the first quarter 24-25.
Season hire Grassfield, yes. Seasonal, yes.
Is that correct?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, Councillor Blackmore, are you happy with that addition?
I'm happy with that addition. Fee and charges for up to. Yes.
Right, so councillors, you do realise this is going to impact our budget quite severely, but we're willing to do that for the sporting field, and the people who don't pay sport will also have to be paying an extra bit of money in their rates, but, you know, sporting fields are very, very important to us, and our sporting groups are very important to us, and we're hoping that they're happy with these changes. And I put it to you, all in favour? Thank you very much. I declare the motion carried. All right. The next one we're talking about is on page 86, CCS5. 73, CCS3, councillor data, current status of council resolution.
Yes, I was looking through the resolutions and I was looking for an item, reading it. There was a motion passed some time ago, and I understand still outstanding is the installation of bollard lights from between the two parks. It's a dark, that has been 2.5 years ago, and I understood it would be
Sorry, which park, councillor?
between Melville Reserve and the Erie Park. It has, I guess it has been about 2.5 years ago, and that was part of this thing. And I understood it would be, I was expecting the work to be started now, but I was a bit surprised to see that.
Put into this year's budget? Did you notice if it was put into this year's budget?
I'm not sure, that's what I'm asking, that's
Okay.
why not easy here. So
Okay, we'll follow that up. Oh, sorry, Mr. Mamo, we've got that for you. Look how efficient he
I
is.
think that's all that.
Through you, Madam Mayor. So the motion that Councillor Data is referring to is bollard lighting to be considered as part of works at Erie Park, which will be, that they will be included as part of the concepts for the master plan that will go out as part of the West Invest funding. Now, as councils will be aware that we've only just signed off on those funding deeds and we're due to go out for community engagement in July on all of the West Invest projects. So, Councillor Data, you can be assured that the bollard lighting is considered as part of that, that project.
And any time frame through the chair?
The community consultation commences in July. That'll run the standard period. We'll come back and we'll talk to councillors and then we'll look to adopt the project scope. There's procurement that needs to occur in that process, so you are probably looking at a good 12 to 18 months before that project is delivered, if not, in excess of 2 years.
Thank you.
But it will be worth waiting for.
Of course.
Because, because that's going to be an amazing area after this is all done. So if everyone can just stay calm and just wait for something to happen and happen properly, I think that's the best way to do it. All right, so our next motion, oh sorry, councillors, I need to move that. Move it by Councillor Reddy, seconded by Councillor Blackmore. All in favour? Motion carried. Thank you. So our next item is page 86, CCS5. Statistics on calls, complaints, queries, suggestions, etc. Councillor Data, you said you wanted to speak on that?
Yes, Madam Mayor, I just wanted to congratulate our GM and the officers for putting such a very comprehensive report that came out of the motion that this council was kind enough to pass last month. And I must say that it's a good work, and I'm pretty sure many of us didn't know how good our officers are working. So congratulations. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor Data. Councillor Reddy, do you have
I would like an update on every quarterly or 6 months rather than every month, because it consumes a lot of council resources. And what I've seen in your absence and observed is we really don't have a data management system or anything to put in every month. So instead of every month, if we can have a report 6 months, it would be better. Maybe in future we can make it quarterly.
Good suggestion, Councillor Reddy. Anyone else want to discuss that?
I think, if I may say, Madam Mayor, that I can see what the Madam Deputy Mayor is saying, but I think that we have to build ourselves. We cannot adjust to the wrong way of doing things. We need to go about the right way of doing things. If data is the main, information and data are the lifeblood of any organization. If I understood correctly that we do not have a data management system proper, then, and it is not very expensive these days, and I think we are taking calls and all that. So I think we need to establish the technology rather than not doing it. Data management is something that I do every day. So we should be employing technology that does it properly. So we need to establish this framework. I would suggest that we keep it for some time, and if we see that what we see today, it is going that good. Maybe in the future we'll consider whether we need to change. But I would also suggest that if the management thinks that we do not have the data management capability, then we should be looking into it, establish the data management capability, because we are a service-oriented organization. If that is a flaw, that is a big flaw.
Councillor Data, thank you. But we are already establishing that data system, but we're just thinking it might be we're a little bit early in getting our data before the systems are in. Councillor.
Councillor Data, it's just the sample size of what data you want to process it. In a month, you will get a very small, tiny sample and you can't amend and you can't change. If you have a sustainable data and a bigger sample, you can make proper changes. Because you're asking every month you have small sample and you're going to change or you're going to implement something. So let's wait, sit and collect our samples. Let's make the sample size bigger. If you want to review every month's report, you're going to pick something very tiny. If you're going to wait and you have a bigger sample, what's the random one? What's a repetitive issue coming up? So you won't even have you will miss quite a lot of issues if you compare only 1 month. If you compare 6 months data, you might get more sustainable outcomes.
We do a 6-month review every year. The council does it on all their policies and presentations. So we should just include that in the 6-month review. And it would be easier for our council officers, and then we would have more of a data. And once our iConcierge comes up online, it's going to be a lot easier to capture a lot of these calls. So,
For many years, Councillor Data, as they say, the data don't lie, yeah?
And data never lies.
the data never lies.
It is a common saying in the last council when I was here, data never lies. So what I'm saying is maybe I get.
Councillor Data, you've spoken twice.
Data never lies. So I'm saying that maybe quarterly. I could
1 minute.
No, it won't take 1 minute. I think one of the things I wanted to see is the trend. So this is one report. It doesn't say anything. The key aspect was to see the trend, and at least we have to do a quarterly report to see the trend. If we do a 6 months, it will be all messed up.
All right, so are you happy with a quarterly report, Councillor Reddy?
Yes.
All right, so I put it to you, councillors, a quarterly report. Hang on, we've got to change the wording. It's already up to quarterly. Sorry. Okay, that the report be presented to council every quarter. I move it. I put it to you, everyone. All in favour? Unanimous decision. I declare the motion carried. Right, well that was easy. Okay, now we're going to PE1. Ben, you have to leave. Sorry, councillor. Councillor Chai. See? Now I'm calling everyone by their first name. That's a Joe Biden thing to do. Okay, so I move. We need a mover and a seconder for this one, councillors. Councillor Blackmore, seconded by Councillor Data. Okay, so the draft Stratfield Development Control Plan is on page 94. Right. So the recommendation that the amendments to DCP Part P, Heritage of Stratfield Development Control Plan, as outlined in the body of the report and highlighted in the attachment, be adopted by Council for public exhibition.
I'd like to speak.
Okay. The draft DCP Part P be placed on public exhibition on Council's website and e-news for a period of 28 days in accordance with Clause 13 of the Environmental Planning and Assessment Regulation 2021 and Council's Community Participation Plan, And a further report be brought to council following the exhibition period to consider any submissions during the exhibition period, or should there be no submissions received, delegation being granted to the General Manager to approve the DCP Part P as exhibited and published a notice of its decision on the council website. Do you need to speak, Councillor Hall?
I do. So there are some changes, and I'd like to thank the Director for making those changes. There are a couple of
Changes.
while the changes are good, it's still not quite what I was after. So if you read, say, from Environmentally Sustainable Technologies, 2.12 on page 96. So if you go from
2.12, yeah?
so if we go from the second line of the second paragraph, EV charging points and rainwater tanks may be large elements that could be intrusive to a roofscape or streetscape facade, if not appropriately designed and sited. That's not exactly what I had in mind, because when we put if not appropriately designed or sited, but then when we go down to objective A, B and C, we go down to C and it says to ensure that the installation of new sustainable measures located of a roof plane or building facade do not detract from the heritage significance or an aesthetic value when viewed from the public domain. I think what my point was that if these things are really huge, as they are, and yet then you can't put them on any roof plan. You just can't do it. And so the understanding that this is not clear. So my understanding is that what this says is that yes, they're large, but we're going to have to put them on there. And it's like, well, if they're too large, you can't put them on there. And this doesn't seem to give us any scope to be able to. You have to give them a maybe they're too large and maybe they won't be able to be used. Whereas I don't think we're giving them that out. That out doesn't seem to be here. If they're too big, then you can't put them on. Whereas this basically says they're too big and they have to make sure that they go on somewhere. Well, if they're too big, they might not be able to go anywhere. So then what do we do? That's what I'm trying to get at. Does that make sense? So, is there appropriate wording
Through the chair.
through the chair from the director that we could so say that yes, they're too big. They can be big. They may be big, and in that case, they can't be used.
Thank you, Councillor.
They can't be put on.
Thank you. Ms. Harley.
Through you, Madam Mayor. Yes, we will take that further input on notice. I think whilst the matter is on public exhibition, it does give us an opportunity to review the document again subsequent to getting submissions as part of that, and we'll take on board your further input.
Question,
Councillor.
Is it coming back before the end of the term? Before September? Otherwise I'll have to delegate.
So it goes on exhibition when?
We've said that we'll go on exhibition so for a period of 28 days after this meeting, and then we'd come back to council if there are any submissions. We have sought delegation to the General Manager if there are no submissions, but we can bring it back to council.
Do we have a meeting in August?
We have a meeting in August.
Early August.
We might have to do it earlier on. It has to be an earlier.
Yeah, I think we have to, there is a change of date for the August meeting. Yes, Mr. Memo, you need to speak. I can tell you're itching.
Through you, Madam Mayor. So there is one final meeting on the 13th of August. I think it would just depend on the quantum of submissions and the technicality involved as to whether we would be able to come back with an updated version of the DCP that incorporates any submissions and feedback received during consultation by that 13th of August date.
So, another question. So, is the plan to make the change before it goes as exhibition or after? Now I got you. I'd like to see it done before.
through you, Madam Chair, we can look at the wording. We don't have a council resolution to change the wording.
That's what I wanted to add then.
It may be appropriate that the council resolve that we review the wording prior to exhibition.
Yeah. Okay, cool.
Yes, councillor Hall.
Can we please add a number 4?
And number 4, that council resolve.
That the wording, do you want me to put, you don't want me to put the exact word, I'm not going to put the exact wording because I'll leave that to the director. That the wording of 2.12, environmentally sustainable technologies, that the wording of 2.12, that the wording of clause 2.12, environmentally sustainable technologies,
Be changed before exhibition.
be reviewed and changes made to reflect.
Reviewed and changes made.
To reflect.
To reflect.
What's the wording? To reflect consistencies between large,
Putting words in people's mouth, Nella.
large intrusive elements and the need to, what's the word,
Can we come to the July workshop with the wording?
yes.
Yes. So we can just put that there, that the wording of 2.2 come to the next workshop for the correct wording before exhibition.
Sounds good.
Thank you.
Much better.
Thank you, Mr. Memo. Always comes to the. Oh, I need a mover and a seconder for that amendment. You're a mover, Nella. You're a seconder. Sorry, Councillor Hall and Councillor Reddy. All in favour? And now we're going to move and second. I've got a mover and a seconder for the draft, have I? Have I got one yet? Who was the mover? Yeah, and Councillor Data was the seconder. All in favour for the draft? All in favour. Thank you. Unanimous decision. I move. Declare the motion's carried. And Stephen? Yeah. Hi, Stephen. Can't see. Oh, he's funny. So we're going to the next item, which is page 162, PE4.
PE2.
PE2, 154, Stratfield, and we had to pull that out because Matthew wanted to declare of interest, and that is on 150. Follow it better than me.
All in favour?
All in favour? Okay, I need a mover.
Oh,
No, I can move it.
Yes, Councillor Chai moved it. Seconded, Councillor Dada. Okay, all in favour?
Yep.
Unanimous, I declare the motion carried. We may get Councillor Blackmore back. So now we're going to the local planning panel. Thank you. So we're up to the local planning panel, and there are a few changes that we need to make you aware of.
I didn't think these could go out
That items 2 and 3 be moved as is, and item 1 be amended to read that council endorses the, Councillor Blackmore. We're up to PE4, 162. that items 2 and 3 be moved as is, and item 1 be amended to read as, that council endorses the appointment of the following panellists to the Strathfield Local Planning Panel for 2024, term commencing 30th of June 2024. There has been a change. So who's that? Oh, Graham Brown. So we've had 2 of our experts drop out, so they've been replaced. Is that correct? Thank you. So number 8, it will be Graham Brown. And number... Is it Caroline? I thought it was Caroline. Matthew Taylor. And Anthony Tribe will now be replaced by Matthew Taylor. No? Sorry. There's a bit of confusion about who's who. That's all right.
Yes. Number 10, Anthony Tribe will be replaced by Caroline Piddock.
Caroline Piddock. Yep.
She's a number 11. Who's number 11?
Who's number 8? Who was replacing? Who's Graham Brown replacing?
Number 8, Helena Miller will be replaced by Graham Brown.
Got it.
And number, just to confirm again, number 10, Anthony Tribe will be replaced by Caroline Piddock.
Got it.
11 should be Matthew, should be Kate Bartlett.
No, 11 should be
Matthew Taylor.
Matthew Taylor. Matthew Taylor is, that's where the confusion is.
Yes, that's where the confusion is.
So this is the list. Councillors, just double checking the list. We thought we had it tonight.
You don't want to put a wrong name in.
So number 1 is Marcia Doheny. 2 is Linda Gosling. 3 is Stephen Pearce. 4 is Jason Perica. I'd be hopeless at citizenship.
Yeah, I just need to.
5 is Trevor Bly. 6 is Scott Barwick. 7 is Shandal Fortune. 8 is Graham Brown. 9 is David Milliken. 10 is Carolyn Piddock. 11 is Matthew Taylor. Is it?
Yep.
Yeah.
Right. 12 is Kate Bartlett.
Yep.
13 is Dennis Lothar. 14 is Sandra Robinson.
Still, yeah, the wrong.
And 15 is Peter Romy.
So, on the screen,
You did perfect.
you've got
Thank you.
Screen there, laying it out.
10 Matthew Taylor, and 10 should be Carolyn Piddock, and 11 should be Matthew Taylor, with 2 T's. Does that make sense?
Does it matter?
I suppose not.
It's not in any particular order. It doesn't matter what order.
And Matthew has 2 T's.
Yeah, if we can correct the spelling of Matthew, please.
Have you had dinner? That bowl of sweets.
I've actually got a dinner with a resident after this.
After all that.
You're eating.
Do you want my bowl? All I've heard is him chomping on chocolate all
You're
night.
going to be very high tonight.
Working all day.
You need to sleep tonight.
That's nuts.
You won't be able to sleep after so
And
much.
nuts, they're better for you.
I'll have coffee after this too, don't
Yeah,
worry.
they're better. I can't wait to go home and have a coffee. That'd be nice.
Oh, we've got to go into closed session. Because of Raj Tata.
Do we really need to speak about general manager's review?
Do you want to speak about the general manager? We're going to closed session.
Well, he's already asked it, so.
Okay. Just double check them.
Because we want a closed session. Why don't we take the pictures?
All right, everyone. So that's confirmed
All
now.
fixed.
Is that correct? Thank you. Okay, all in favour? The mover was... Who moved it? Someone moved it. Councillor Sabini and Councillor Reddy. Thank you. All in favour? Raj? All in favour? Yes, I declare it unanimous and I declare the motion carried. Sorry, councillor Data, I've got to stop calling people by their first name. All right, so we're up to our closed session, councillors. So I'm asking everyone to leave the room except for... Yeah, I'm a bit out of... Just before we go in, we've got to go through the...
Questions with notice.
No questions of notice.
Matters of urgency.
Any matters, I was too scared. Any matters of urgency, councillors? No? And now we go into confidential closed session. Okay, so the results for the closed session was that the medical room was put through as a... Okay, and the general manager's review was voted unanimously. Thank you very much. Having said all that, the meeting is now closed at 8 p.m. Thank you very much. Thank you.